Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of my movie savers and deal breakers video. Last time I talked a little bit about some personal movie deal breakers that ruined some otherwise pretty beloved films for me. Since we are all unique and individual little snowflakes, personal taste can have a big impact on what saves or tanks a movie for you. And since I slandered some films and questioned your personal taste, I think it's only fair to put mine into the same questioning. In this video, I'm gonna get a little more specific about my personal references just because there are some prime examples of movies that were saved for me. They can't always be explained, they aren't always rational, but here is my definitive list of movie savers. And some movies that deserve a little more credit. Movie Saver 1, Right Place, Right Time. I'm getting this one right out of the way first because it is the most ridiculous thing that earns my loyalty to a film. This is the trump card movie saver. No arguing with it, end of discussion. The film in question could have a preschooler's plotline, plot holes, just the worst effects you've ever seen. But if the conditions were just right for my first viewing, if the season, the group, my mood, and my interest at the time all aligned for my first viewing, boom. It's a movie I'm probably gonna watch again and again. If it's Christmas, we're watching Barbie and the Nutcracker. It's no Miracle on 34th Street, but it brings me right back to the first time I saw it, in the good old days of making candy cane shivs with my sister and drinking myself sick off hot chocolate. The nostalgic clutches on this one are just tight. Totally saved. Oh, and if it's summer, you can bet we're putting on National Treasure. Maybe because I associate it with a long, hot walk to an air-conditioned theater with some great friends. Or maybe it's because in summer, people go to day trips at landmarks and interest points, and it's just fun to imagine Nick Cage lurking in the shadows, decoding a cipher in a brick. Oh, and don't even get me started on that awkward era between 12 and 15, when vampires were just the coolest thing. I'm talking about the leather-clad, gun-wielding kind. This movie in particular was the best during that era. And actually, it's still kind of the best. This is the movie I'll thank for inspiring me in my Oscar acceptance speech. No joke. It was an amazing movie then, it's amazing now. I don't care, fight me. Embarrassed for me yet? Movie Saver 2. I really like the characters. I think I've mentioned before that characters are a big deal for me. And guess what? If I find even one character charming enough, or if I connect with their journey, albeit even a stupid journey, or if I find even something compelling about the performance, it can be the saving grace of an otherwise questionable film. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan is enough for me to rewatch the prequels. You'd think these characters would kinda make up for any saving grace of this character, but oddly enough, when I'm paying attention to Obi-Wan and even Qui-Gon, I can kind of let the laughable stuff be brushed aside and still enjoy it. He's just a really good Obi-Wan. He's so cool. And Sean Connery as a horribly rendered CGI reptile wins my little dragon heart every time. Also, it's the Sam Raimi Peter Parker that has my love and loyalty above all other Spider-Men. This Peter is still the most real to me, and is one of the reasons I can still watch these pretty dated movies. He's just so genuine, and we witness him go through some pretty dark stuff multiple times. How can I not have fun rooting for him? On the topic of giving due credit, let the record show that I think M. Night Shyamalan's Signs is one of the most underappreciated movies of all time. Hear me out. Yeah, some stuff doesn't make sense and the aliens were bested by water and doors. But seeing humans fight aliens wasn't the draw of the story for me. Maybe that's what made me check it out on a whim at first. But in watching it, I saw this was not a terrifying alien thriller, but a vignette of a family in grief. It is all tension. The story is in the stakes these characters face together and in a father finding meaning in the face of tragedy that's invaded their happy family life. That's interesting! What a character study! Disguised as a sci-fi. If anything, I thought the aliens functioned more as a metaphor. So you were all wrong about Signs. Go home. If you're not too disgusted with me, let's move on. Movie Saver 3. So stupidly fun. I'll make this one nice and fast. Jennifer's Body, Van Helsing, Underworld, Underworld Revolution, Lake Placid, National Treasure, San Andreas, Dragonheart, Armageddon, all the Scream movies. So fun. 10 out of 10 would watch right now. Moving on. Movie Saver 4. Something New. This is another one that can't really be rationalized. It saves some movies for me and not others. If a movie gives me a new experience, a refreshed message, or even a small detail that's an attempt to make something familiar new again, I'm on board. I think this is why I really like some rom-coms like He's Just Not That Into You and Two Night Stand. Technically, I'm not even sure these were hated movies, but they definitely aren't remembered in any Screenwriting 101 lists. I love that they take some classic genre tropes and try to question them in the realms of real life. Because of this, I can forgive any cliched happy endings and all the character archetypes. The heart was in the right place, and it deconstructed some long-running ideas along the way. The Scream movies do this in their genre too. Yes, even the fourth one. Aside from simple self-awareness, I also think it's really innovative to use a genre for a different purpose. We're talking about signs again, buckle in. To this day, I have never seen an alien movie quite like it. I didn't know a sci-fi film about an alien invasion could have this much attention to character. The word subtle and tense comes to mind, and they rarely do when I think about alien thrillers. Like I said, sometimes it's just a small detail that's different, like a new way to represent a character trope or a theme that's slightly tweaked. This movie saver is one that becomes more and more important to me as we continue with the trend of cinematic franchises. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now that your tastes are seeming far superior to mine, I think we're ready for the last movie saver. Movie saver 5. When it just needs a hug. This one is kind of the counterpoint to the last point I made in my Deal Breakers video. When people are just tearing into a movie I think has at least some legitimate merit, what choice do I have but to focus on those merits that people continuously just sweep under the rug? When there is something of value to a film, whether it's in the great characters, an innovative perspective, heart, or just for its stupidly fun rewatch value, I need to defend it against the harsh words of the disgruntled public. Because everything good shouldn't be swept aside just because it's been deemed a bad movie. I don't care if The Grinch was hated by critics. There's an entire generation that saw this movie at the perfect age to appreciate it, and they can probably quote every line to this day. I don't care if people thought the first Paranormal Activity film was gimmicky and nauseating. That was a masterclass in concept and creative scares. That's enough to save it for me. And I don't care if Jennifer's Body is about a hot possessed girl eating boys. Megan Fox drinking out of a dead guy's stomach is fun for the whole family. And in the end, the heart wants what it wants. And if your heart is a captive of characters, nostalgia, innovation, and senseless fun, then you and I probably have very similar taste in bad movies. So there you go. Those are a few things that save a movie for me. But of course, I want to hear, what are some movies you will defend to the death that others are not on board with? And what are the things that saved them for you? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, or right here with any requests for my next Screen Spectrum review. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, this has been Real Talk, and thank you for watching. Sunshine. Literally the only time you don't want the sun to come out in Vancouver. It's going behind a cloud, and now there's a motorcycle. This is another one that can't really be rationalized. What was that?